welcoming Arsenal this weekend. London derby for that matter. What do you think about this game? It's a big game for Arsenal, if you ask me.
It's a big game, yeah. I think it's a big game for both sides. The reason why I say it's a big game for both sides is this: when it comes to the top 6, or basically what we know as the traditional top 4 in England, the last team Arsenal lost to among the top 4 was actually Manchester City. That was the last team they lost to among the top 4. Chelsea, the last team they beat among the top 4, the traditional top 4, was actually Manchester United last season. That was a Cole Palmer show where he actually scored a hat-trick basically towards the end of the game. Yeah. Now, we saw Chelsea's game yesterday against Noah FC. And in all honesty, I don't think any of us were actually surprised. I think it should have been more, personally, if you ask me, because I think even those guys even said it. I mean, you can't be playing against a team that is filled up with Bible characters and expect to actually not get a win. Obviously, you're going to do that. You're going to do that. Most especially a team from Armenia. They've never played in Europe before. And finally, you get them. You're going to put that to the sword. But this is it. That was midweek. This is another kettle of fish entirely.
Absolutely.
This is a side that somehow has been having it very, very easy against you. Last season ended 2-2 at Stamford Bridge. The Cole Palmer show, basically, the Cole Palmer penalty and the wonder goal by Mikhailo Modric, where Arsenal actually got back through Leandro Trossard and that strike from Declan Rice. Basically, I think this is one game that we actually have to put a lot of the searchlight on Robert Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper, because that fixture last season, he was caught out twice. He was caught out twice for both Arsenal's goals. He has to have his wits up against him. If he makes those mistakes again, he will get punished. Certainly. And I think we saw what he also did against United. Is also another thing that's also ringing against him, whereby you basically knew that this player was not going anywhere and you still went ahead to bring the player down in the 18. Sanchez has got to be careful, because this is the thing. We've been facing an Arsenal side that basically have been finding it hard to score goals. In fact, if you look at the standings among the top 6, I think Arsenal has scored the lowest amount of goals this season.
Yeah, yes. This season.
They've scored the lowest amount of goals this season because obviously there's been a lack of creativity. It's not as if they don't have finishers, but there have been few creative chances. And I think this is where I'm going to get harsh with Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, talk to me.
You see, I'm an Arsenal fan, but I must say it. I have not been happy with Arteta's management of games in the last 3-4 matches. These are my reasons. 1, you have made it clear to anyone who can watch the game that your major threats are set pieces. You get me? You scored more goals than any other side from set pieces. That means you're already giving your opponents an advantage over you. They know that you will get chances through set pieces. So what will they do? They will do their best to limit those set pieces. Another thing you've done is this. You have proven that basically if the opponents do not come out to attack, you are comfortable to sit back and relax. It shouldn't be. I, for one, that game against Inter, in all honesty, let's be blunt, Inter shouldn't have even been able to get 1 point from that game. Because let's be realistic, apart from the shot that they hit, that hit the post in the very first half,
but I don't.
And that penalty, there was nothing Inter had to offer in that game attack-wise. It wasn't there. And I think even the stats tell you everything you needed to know. Arsenal had 42 crosses in that game.
42.
That's the second highest in the Champions League this season. The fact that they could not even score one goal with them tells you that there needs to be a plan B. You look at that midfield.
Hmm.
Personally, we've had this debate. Mikel Merino is a fantastic player. I will not deny that. However, that was in Spain. This is England. This is the Premier League.
Yeah.
Man, you've got to find a way to adapt. I'm taking two games in particular. The game against Liverpool, he was fantastic. But the game against Newcastle, he
And
should
this
not look back at that game. That game was a disappointment. On Wednesday against Inter, it was also a disappointment. It wasn't a good performance from Merino at all. And you
I
will
mean,
have noticed the fact that in the second half, when Jesus and Waneri came into the game, it changed totally. Arsenal began to get more chances. In fact, they created more chances when those players were on the pitch than when they were out of the pitch. So I think Mikel Arteta has got to do something. Last season, he showed that Arsenal could actually defend. We've seen that. 2 seasons ago, he was able to prove that Arsenal could actually score. In
score,
fact,
yeah.
last season, basically from the second half of the season, only City scored more goals than Arsenal.
Yeah.
The previous season, Arsenal basically scored in almost all games, I think bar 2 or 3, whereby they didn't actually score. Now you've gone about 2 games back to back, you've not scored. That tells you something. Your creativity has got to start to function. You need to start finding a way to get the ball into the middle of the park. Because personally, for me, I think where this game will be won and lost is creativity. I keep on emphasizing it. Chelsea's central defense is open for the taking. If you just focus on it, you will get results. You will
That's
get chance
that back line
because
is
that
suspect.
back line is suspect. Very, very suspect. If I pick out Kukureya on the flanks and I pick out the other man, James, on the other side, I'm looking at that center. Who? Badiashile or
Or Colwill.
Adarabi or Cowell? Come on. I could go easily through any one of them, in all honesty. You just need to just find a player who can time his runs. I think Kukureya is going to have a very, very field day with Bukayo Saka because
That's it.
Saka will threaten.
Saka will
Saka will
ah,
threaten. He will threaten. He will worry. He will pull out. He will run against you. He will run at you. If Kukureya makes a mistake, he's toast.
but
Let's
let
come
me
down
ask
to
you.
midfield.
Let me
Yeah.
okay. You want to talk about the midfield? Oh, all right.
Yes,
Talk about the
I'm
midfield.
coming down to the midfield. Coming down to the midfield, I look at
Yeah.
what Arsenal has got. I look at what Chelsea has got. I think the good thing for Arsenal is this: Martin Odegaard is back.
But he can't play
And we know
tomorrow.
what Odegaard,
I mean on
he
Sunday.
can play tomorrow. He can. He actually played against Inter. He made 2 minutes. He had 3, 4 minutes on the pitch of play. Yes, so he's back. I
Okay.
think this game, if there's anybody who is
Mhm.
a doubt for this game, is actually Declan Rice because the reports we got was that
Oh
Rice
wow.
actually had a broken toe. That was why he actually didn't fly with the team to Inter. So that was why he was dropped out. He had a broken toe, but the medical team is saying all things being equal, he he himself actually wants to play on Sunday. He
Ah.
wants to play on Sunday against Chelsea. I think he has the whole of the international break to rest. Maybe that's it, but he wants to play on. That's to let you know he knows the
Oh,
severity of this game.
this game.
He
Yeah.
knows how important this game is to the Arsenal side. So obviously Arsenal is going to go all out for 3 points. The attack section. I look at Nicholas Jackson
Hmm.
and as this is going to be tough because this either one of the two defenders is coming up against, they will bully him.
They will bully
I
him.
don't know how they
They
will
will rubbish
bully
him.
him. They will bully him. If he has to keep his head low, because if he does anything rash, he shouldn't do anything rash because I hate to imagine if he gets sent off, it will not be good. It will be good. It will be good. I think the standout players to be watching out for on
Yeah, I
both
want to hear
sides.
that. I
Look
want
at
to hear that.
I'm going to look at Chelsea. I'm going to look at obviously there's no way you're going to talk about Chelsea this season without
Without Cooper.
mentioning Cole Palmer.
Hmm.
Definitely. I know it's kind of people are kind of wondering why he wasn't registered for the Conference League, but I think we can now see it actually was a blessing in disguise because just imagine a Chelsea side yesterday against Noah. and you have a Cole Palmer in that game.
Boy,
It will be 17. It will be 17. I kid you not, because he will just be going in and out, in and out. So he's had enough rest, and I think the medical team will actually be looking at him critically, because I think they said the knock he had against United, that tackle from Martinez, he actually had the knock, and they're actually going to go undergo scans to actually see if he's actually going to be fit. So I think we'll have more reports on that by tomorrow to know whether he's actually fit enough to actually play the game on Sunday. So he's going to be one player to actually watch out for. Another player to look out for will be Pedro Neto, because I think Pedro Neto brings a dynamism on the right hand flank for Chelsea. His runs and his ability to go direct are actually key points that he has. I see Kukurea as well too. It's very hard for you to have a Chelsea Arsenal 11 currently. You not have Kukurea on it. I'm skipping James because James, personally for me, I think his fitness is still a concern for me, because I think he's not yet fully fit. It's still showing. So we have to actually see whether he's actually back to his full fitness to actually take the spotlight. For Arsenal, I think I also need to point out this guy too as well too. Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. Caicedo has been his Brighton best this season. Yeah. I think it started towards the end of last season. He has managed to finally put the heavy price tag beside him and do what he knows how to do best, which is on the pitch of play. Caicedo will be key to whatever Chelsea might be able to achieve in midfield on Sunday. If he delivers and he does as he's been doing so far, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be really, really tough, in all honesty. But it is that if Arsenal find a way past him and navigate their way beyond him, then I think it's going to be Arsenal's zone. For Arsenal on the other side, I think players to watch out for. Obviously, there's no way we're going to talk about without mentioning Bukayo Saka. We're going to mention Bukayo Saka. As for Kai Havertz, I think Havertz has a point to prove. This was his old stomping ground. He wants to go there to actually prove that, yes, you said I wasn't good enough.
Okay.
Let me show you why I am that guy. He has to prove it. I think the game against Inter, he actually had a chance that, in all honesty, I would have said, if it was against any goalkeeper, I would have said that would have been a goal. But any goalkeeper is a key word, not Jan Sommer. Sommer is one keeper I personally do not want to go up against, because he is that good. Yeah, he is that good, definitely. So we're looking at Kai Havertz, we're looking at Bukayo Saka, we're looking at Martin Odegaard. I want to actually see what he has been missing. He needs to prove exactly what he has been missing to the Arsenal side and bring that creativity, create more chances. Because I personally feel if Arsenal creates more chances, they will score goals. That's a certainty. Looking at the defense, obviously, I have the two pillars at the back line. I have nothing to fear about. Those two men are there to do the damage if possible. Thomas Partey is getting back to his usual fit self. And I think if he's there and he turns up, if the Arsenal team turns up on Sunday, I don't see anything apart from 3 points for Arsenal.
All right. Before we wrap up the show, there's this. I want to put you on the spot. Okay. Let's say. This first one is the score prediction. What do you think about this game? Where is it going to end?
It's going to be tough. I see Chelsea scoring. I'll be honest with you. It's funny, but I see Chelsea scoring. But if I should put my neck out on this one, I'll go for a 2-1.
In favor of Arsenal.
In favor of Arsenal, yes.
Arsenal to win. All right. The second spot I want to put you is this.
Yeah.
I've heard a series of Arsenal fans. They already, the knife is already out.
On Mikel Arteta, I guess.
Yeah. And what's your situation? What's your position on this? In fact, you remember we always during our chat,
we basically argue over this every time. Every time we argue over this. So this is my take on this.
Yeah.
I'm still in favor of Arteta in, because the thing is this: what he's been able to achieve with this side, he's been able to do it in a very short period of time. Yes, he's been able to do it in a short period of time. I understand that yes, results may not be going his way, but the thing is this: I would like some Arsenal fans to remember one thing. There used to be a time whereby you were never bothered to actually watch an Arsenal game because you knew that if your team concedes the first goal, they
Don't
will not
finish.
turn up. That's it. It's over. You're gone. In fact, in most times you actually just asked. You only just ask what was the scoreline because you knew obviously Arsenal will not get a result, especially against the top side. But this is a manager who has basically made this team realize that
Boy, they are
as
saying
long
he
as it's a
has not
top
won
side,
anything. There are no trophy.
yes,
For 5 years.
we have this issue of him not winning the trophy. But let's be
Yeah.
realistic. We are talking about a league that has an enigma like Pep Guardiola. Let's be realistic. You take away Pep
But if you're
from the
looking at
Premier
this
League
season,
in the last two seasons.
you already said
Yeah,
if assess, I mean, this is a time for Arteta or Arsenal
exactly.
to win the league.
Exactly to win.
And
Yes.
you remember Bishop always says something about where is the striker when you know
that is a major concern. I won't lie to you. I think
guys
this
signed
was
just 2 players.
yes, and I think
Where
this
is
was
the
a
striker?
gamble that I personally felt.
Come on
This
now.
was a gamble that I personally felt. I felt Arteta lost this season. That was a gamble he lost this season because
You have Osimhen
I am
there.
looking.
You have this guy that went to Saudi.
Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney. He wasn't going to sign Ivan Toney. He was not going to sign Ivan Toney. I'll be honest with you. I think the 3 names that were shortlisted on Arsenal's list for a striker, there were just 3 names on that list. I'll be honest with you. There were 3 names on that list. Number 1 was Victor Osimhen. But we know that obviously the Napoli issue would have been one of the major reasons why Arsenal pulled out. So I think obviously they will make an attempt to go again for Osimhen, either by January. Although I think by January now it's not going to be feasible because
yeah.
the reports we have is that after yesterday's game, Mauro Icardi actually suffered an ACL tear. So he's out for the season. So that means basically everything that Arsenal will be doing up front will be Osimhen. So definitely he's not going anywhere until the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's done. So Osimhen basically, for now, we're looking at the end of the season. The second name on that list was actually Benjamin Sesko. Sesko signed an extension with RB Leipzig, but from the reports we're getting so far, life has become difficult at RB Leipzig. You can see the results basically. Results are not going good and not looking fine. And the young man actually has a buyer clause of just 55 million euros. So I think that might be something Arsenal might want to revisit again. If they will be able to do it January, I don't know. In fact, in all honesty, I sincerely doubt it. Then the third person on that list is Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah.
He's the third person on that list. But my fear with this is I've seen basically everybody saying you should have signed Gyökeres, you should have signed Gyökeres, you should have signed Gyökeres.
Yeah.
But the thing with football fans is football fans tend to forget some things. Gyökeres did not just start performing. We only got to know him in the spotlight at Lisbon. But you fail to forget the fact that this guy actually moved to Sporting Lisbon from England. In fact, he was actually signed by Brighton, first of all. He didn't perform. Then they sent him on loan to Coventry City.
Now to Lisbon.
It was at Coventry City he was able to put some focus on it because the very season they got to the championship final, basically everyone expected Coventry to win because of the presence of Victor Gyökeres on the pitch of play. But we all know how that final actually ended. They didn't win it. Coventry went back to the shadows, although they tried to come back again last season, but they were not successful enough. So basically, with the little experience we've had in England, our fear is this. The fear generally there is this. What if you actually go ahead to splash the cash, do all the big drama to bring the guy back to England, and he gets to England and he doesn't perform? Another person also on that list, I think that person even looks more likely he might even move, is Alexander Isak. Isak of Newcastle. Yeah, because believe you me, I think this is one person a lot of Arsenal fans actually want to see. The truth is this. Sometimes you take some gambles that could actually work out for you or could not work out for you. So because it doesn't work out for your manager, doesn't mean he's a bad coach. No. Just give him time. Let him find a way to solve the problem. Because basically, the problem Arteta is facing right now is almost the same problem Ancelotti is facing. And you cannot compare Arteta and Ancelotti in the same sentence. I mean, Ancelotti is basically the dawn of coaching. But if you followed his Madrid team for the last 3 games, you know that definitely there's a crisis in that team. And right now, a lot of Madrid fans are actually calling for his sack. It's that bad. I kid you not. That is how bad it has been.
I know they joke.
But the thing is this. No, Madrid doesn't joke. That's why I said if only Arsenal can be that kind of club, I would be worried.
Like that.
Yes. Because the thing is this. Madrid is a team I know that you could go ahead and win the Champions League for Madrid, and Madrid will tell you, thank you for the Champions League, but at this point, you are good to go. We do not need you anymore. They will sack you with immediate effect. But the thing is this. This is my other concern. I understand, yes, you might feel like Arteta is not crossing his boundaries. I personally believe Arteta has a lot to offer, but it's like he is worried it may not work out. The truth is this.
Work out.
As a manager, you need to be open to taking risks. There's a reason why we always look at Jose Mourinho and begin to wonder, how does he do his thing? Mourinho is willing to risk anything to get results. Even as far as even collecting a red card on his side, just show up that defense line. Mind to go down. That's what we're asking for Arteta to do. I personally have no issues with Arteta, but what I'm asking is this. You should be able to take risks. Sometimes there are games whereby you should not be content with a draw. Go all out and get 3 points because you have the tools to do it. Do it. If you're talking about the striker issues, we forget the fact that basically he didn't sign a striker by January, and by the end of the season, apart from City, no one scored more goals than his team because what he did was he spread the goals round to everybody. Everybody contributed. People forget the fact that even the Jesus in question hasn't scored since March. He hasn't scored since March. Most people don't realize that Jesus hasn't scored a goal since March. That tells you that definitely you've been able to get goals from other opportunities, other players. Let them do the job. There are some formation that he also does that personally I don't like. For one, I can tell you one thing. Wednesday should be the last game I see an Arsenal side play and you are playing Trossard in midfield. It's not working.
You don't talk him.
It's not working.
Yeah, you said
this guy is a winger and can also play a role as a striker. Let him go to his natural position. Simple. I don't tire. If this one goes on to December, believe me, I'll go join bandwagon. No, I'll join bandwagon. I'll tell you, Arteta, you don't try. Come go out. People are short.
Oh my goodness. All right, this is how we can go. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much, bro.
It's always a pleasure being here, obviously. All right.
Okay. All right, people, this is how far we can go tonight. Please smash the like on the videos.